So players have loaded in. We are in set 3 playing on Roomberg, 1 set apiece now.
Yeah, and well, sort of kind of mirroring the opening set on Mines, we've got the Silly Ducks Revolution trading 1 T69 for an MX-13. So Tomoti once again going for an MX-13 here, whereas on the 2 Girls 1 Krupp side, well, it's pretty much the exact same lineup, 2 MX-50s, 1 KV-5 heavies when it comes to the heavy tanks, and 2 T69 mediums, of course, the T1 Scouts, 2 each on both teams.
Yep. And actually, yeah, this map has been changed up slightly. If you look at the
pretty much like Himmelsdorf as well. I mean, essentially nothing has changed per se within the layout.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just they tweaked the graphics a wee bit, just making it look slightly more realistic.
It's harder to see the buildings though, no?
Well, yeah, it's kind of harder to make out like the streets and the buildings as well. But well, you know, I'm kind of really happy that the minimap is a lot clearer now as an observer's standpoint.
Actually, yeah, both teams are actually now sticking to the same color. So you know, the Silly Ducks Revolution will always be green, and the 2 Girls 1 Krupp will always be red. So it's,
yeah, which is much clearer both for our viewers and even ourselves. I gotta say. So yeah, definitely Wargaming. Props to them for that, making this a lot clearer, and it really does look like well, you know, on the 2 Girls 1 Krupp side, they're going for a very defensive like a setup on the southern side, whereas Silly Ducks Revolution committing to almost a full force sort of field push, although
they're moving towards the city edge now.
Exactly. I mean, they have to. They're probably gonna keep the MX-13. Like Tomoti's probably gonna stick to the field alongside a T1. Most probably, whereas most of the heavy troops are going to converge towards the city edge right now.
Yep.
I mean, they by now they know that they're being unchallenged in terms of heavy forces presence out there. They have to be very careful moving inside the city though.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, they have been spotted now. They've been spotted, so the threat has been spotted. They're wide out there in the open.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, if the heavy tanks sort of are quick enough to come out towards that field, still under cover of the buildings, then really it's not going to be. I kind of have a hard time understanding why 2 Girls 1 Krupp are staying put at the moment. They're not moving. They're just like sitting ducks out there in the field.
I think they're just afraid that the Silly Ducks Revolution are camping.
Right.
Yeah, and they're going to walk into a trap. So I
you know what? They're leaving themselves quite open to an inner city push. As a matter of fact, as well. 1 T69 that just had a peek out there in the field. But I think that, yeah, you know what, 2 Girls 1 Krupp is being pretty conventional here as well. They decided not to go to for a city push, although they could. Because they know that all of these tanks are out there in the field.
But I don't know if they spotted every single one of the 2 Girls 1 Krupp or the
but they definitely do know that, you know, that central village towards the east, they know that most of the forces are there pretty much. So they definitely could commit to an inner western city push, but they decide not to so far.
Yeah. So a little bit of damage going on to Ez again. So Ez actually, he usually takes a lot of damage, you know, in the early parts of the round.
Yeah. But then again, like Ez is, you know, although he's riding a T69, he's providing like kind of a more of a tanking scout, if I could use that term pretty much. Like, obviously he can take in more punishment than those T1s. So he's usually in the front lines trying to figure out where enemy tanks are. But right now, it's pretty surprising. But once again,
I think they're slowly creeping though towards that city edge. So.
Yeah, well, they're sending a scout, like of course Tomoti and his MX-13 going all the way down on the east, sort of like really trying to get a peek as to what those heavy tanks are possibly doing. Well, you know, they're pretty much camping, but yeah, he's just trying to get a slightly better angle to peek at the enemy starting point.
Yeah,
but they're not committing to any push as of now.
Yeah, I'm sure that the Silly Ducks Revolution know that the 2 Girls 1 Krupp team is camping, but I think they're just trying to find where exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And right now, slowly but surely, 2 MX-50s here on the 2 Girls 1 Krupp side, just sort of creeping up to the west. But right now, staying in the middle of that field, because they're not being challenged right now, the Silly Ducks Revolution are very close to their starting point. That field is wide open, so they definitely have all the luxury of time to actually just defend their position if need be. So right now, it's a stalemate situation.
Yeah. I feel like if the two girls or the Silly Ducks Revolution team kind of pushes in on that city edge and hugs the city edge as they push towards the
but they would leave themselves open for a flank because those two MX-50s are within the inner city to the west. So basically, if they commit to a city edge push down south, they would leave completely themselves completely open to a flanking maneuver from those two MX-50s. So right now, it's
or just send one tank back.
Exactly. Well, yeah, nobody's daring anything at this point. There's pretty much. Well, I don't want to call it camping, but ultimately it's kind of unconventional form of camping, but it is camping nonetheless.
Yeah, definitely. Both teams not really moving at all.
Well, no, they're not committing at all at this point. They don't want to take risks.
Yeah, and actually Alt here moving down with that T69. Actually, they're kind of creeping
well,
slowly.
they're just spreading out. They're really just like, okay, you know what? If these guys come out to the city edge and start shooting at us, then basically we're sitting ducks. They know that. They know that they do not, the City Ducks Revolution do not have the advantage in terms of position right now to assault the city. They do not. And right now, those T1s, like on the Two Girls One Krupp side, creeping more and more towards the starting point of City Ducks Revolution, unchallenged.
Yeah,
so they're if they weren't sure to 100%, now they will be sure of the fact that no heavy tanks are actually guarding the inner city.
Yeah.
So they might actually commit to this. So
they're probably just waiting it. And if actually that T1 gets, really close to the...
But he will, as a matter of fact. I mean, right now he's unchallenged. Like, he can actually go all the way to the starting position. I mean, there's one T1 guarding it. Yeah. But that's it, pretty much. And so right now, we're down like 4 minutes on the clock. Yeah, once again, I think those two teams really patient on this one, waiting for a mistake, perhaps, that's not about to come if they stay put like this. Both teams are spread out right now.
Neither team wants to really take the risk.
You know what, if you ask me, of course, we're the observer standpoint, but right now, Two Girls One Krupp, they have the positional advantage.
Yeah.
They definitely do. Okay, now City Ducks Revolution moving in towards the city. Actually, they're committing their forces towards the middle section of the city edge.
So they're actually only sending one at 110.
No, they're sending 110, but those two MX-50s are providing cover from the rear as well. So he's just like, well, not scouting, like, because you won't have like a 110 scouting, but okay, he's inside the city. He has spotted the MX-50 out there.
Might get a shot out here. No.
Yeah, exactly. Bridge Burner, who had spotted him as well. So okay, now the MX-50s on the Silly Ducks Revolution side are converging towards the city edge.
Yeah, and the Silly Ducks Revolution are now, they have pushed up to that city edge, whereas
indeed, and even that MX-13, like player Tomodi with his MX-13 all the way down south is converging towards the starting position of the Two Girls One Krupp side.
Yeah.
So they're going for a surrounding maneuver. I'm not sure that 110 alone can stand up to two MX-50s.
I think what their strategy is if the Two Girls One Krupp team decides to push, he's actually in a position to actually make it back before they capture the base. So
look at that right now. Okay, you got a T61 out there. It's smack in the middle. He's completely trapped.
Yeah, he's completely trapped. He's probably going to take it out here for... Actually, no, there's actually more than one over there. There's two TC9s.
Yeah, but they're just completely surrounded.
Yeah, they are completely surrounded.
They're completely surrounded. If those MX-50s cannot provide cover soon enough, this is really going to go to the Silly Ducks Revolution's advantage.
Yeah, actually that T69 does get taken down.
Yeah, it does get taken down, of course. He was just sitting as, of course, a sitting duck out there. Now that 110 has to hold the tide.
Yeah. That
110 is crucial in the middle section of the map. That 110 really is the lone defense, pretty much. If he survives, he will be able to provide a flanking attack. Now look at that, an inner city push right now.
Yeah, so the Two Girls One Krupp team pushing out towards that middle city area. They realize that the Silly Ducks Revolution are kind of committing on that city edge.
But look at that 110 still standing like his ground pretty much, and now the Silly Ducks Revolution had plenty of time to just sort of like regroup their forces towards the city edge in the middle, so they do have the advantage. Yeah. Let us not forget, one T69 tier 8-point advantage down is more than enough to actually win this round if it goes the distance. So right now, it's all on Two Girls One Krupp to actually make something out of this.
Yeah. And they're actually kind of throwing down some fire onto the Silly Ducks Revolution. Now, the Silly Ducks Revolution are pretty healthy at the moment.
They're very healthy indeed. They've got all their forces concentrated on the city edge towards the middle. And right now, there's no surrounding maneuver at all. As a matter of fact, you've got those T1s trying perhaps for a sneaky capture, but you know what? On the City Ducks Revolution side, like even player Tomodi would be enough to actually just go out there and wipe those two T1s out of this game. So really, that's like moot. Sending those two scouts, like just because you only have one T1 defending this is just not going to be enough. And look at that, as we speak, Tomodi just creeping towards his base. And yeah, the T1 just retreating, but there's a T69 even on the city edge for the City Ducks Revolution, so the base capture will not happen. I mean, it has started, but it's definitely not going to happen.
Yeah, definitely not. And actually, yeah,
a pretty huge firefight here, but yeah, oh boy.
Yeah, so 2 girls, 1 Krupp taking a huge beating right now.
So much punishment, like they're taking a beating.
Yeah, but that AMX13 has to get back in the next about 20 seconds or so. He should be able to get back there in probably about 5 seconds. So
oh no, he's definitely going to make it. That base capture is not going to happen.
Yeah,
I mean, unless really, like, I don't know, they've been blind on their monitor and they don't know what's going on, but yeah, it's definitely not going to happen.
Yep, actually tying it up now. So actually no, but the City Ducks Revolution losing another tank.
Yeah,
so only
go.
2 tanks
well,
remaining.
I mean, yeah,
now.
those are the T1 scouts pretty much that were sitting ducks, and sure enough, Tomodi getting 2 kills. You know, 4LT also getting an extra kill.
Yep.